Hello everyone, I'm the proud father of this lady right here, Bethany. Sparkling new father-in-law, the handsome man beside her, George. Thank you to Brian and Helen for raising a lovely lad. Now Bethany calls me Dad, to me face at least, but you can call me Julian. And I have to say, if any of these names sound strange to you, then you're probably at the wrong wedding. I'd like to welcome everyone, all of our family and friends, and as George would say, our special guests, who took the time to share in this lovely day. I thought it was a lovely, moving wedding ceremony that joined Bethany and George together for eternity. It was a little difficult writing my speech for today, because at first my wife recommended that I do not say anything embarrassing or stupid. And then late she suggested I just be myself. Well, that's hard, not confusing at all. I must say that I've always looked forward to the day that someone would step forward and take Bethany. And I'm so happy, George, that you had the courage to do so. Good man. In fact, although I question his taste in football teams, I've never questioned his loyalty to my daughter. My advice to you both today is love and laughter. Although marriage is as serious as a mortgage, should be taken seriously, just be sure to have fun. Life brings its ups and downs. As long as you remember to laugh at each other and work with each other through it all, you will succeed. I give you Beth and George to bride and groom. Now, today as I stand here with a heart full of joy and a touch of nostalgia, I can't help but reminisce about the beautiful and sometimes emotional journey Bethany's put us through. From the time minutes before birth, when the student midwife panicked during delivery and Bethany needed a bit of suction to help her breathe, to the time she was at the epicentre of New Zealand's strongest earthquake. Her resilience has shone through, although at times it's made us a nervous wreck, but her determination has been a testament to the incredible person she is. Beth was a shy girl, often hiding behind our legs, but wasn't scared to get on the stage and had a starring role in a theatre production of The Little Mermaid, where she played a jellyfish. Her love of her brother, as she was growing up, was often expressed with giving him a kick. This is probably why he went on to do taekwondo to defend himself. Later, as an older teenager, those kicking skills were used for kickboxing training, often giving me a kick or a clout, and always ended up with a smile on her face. There was one time Bethany came at me with a knife. Okay, it was just a plastic one. I moved to the side, breaking her lunge and disarming her on the floor, and accidentally breaking one of her bones, albeit one of the smallest bones in her body. I, of course, was devastated, but Beth was crying with laughter. She's a nutter. Although the kicking she practiced went on to giving me a bashing during our kickboxing training, it gave me some confidence to know she wouldn't be a pushover, and it might be of use when she left home. George, beware. Beth was probably and still is the most studious of my two children. Sorry, Josh, but it's true. She would spend hours doing her homework, while Josh would spend hours pretending he was doing his homework. Her studying paid off, gaining a whole bunch of A stars, but unsure on what career path to take. I remember sat at corporate award ceremony. I received a message from Bethany saying she wanted to join the Air Force. I think she felt I might not approve and would be distracted at the time. But it was a proud moment for me. Not only did she get in, but at the recruitment office, she scored the highest scores, and they said to Beth, with those scores you can pick any job, and so she selected intelligence officer. Although due to official secrets, we can't really talk about it, but near the end of her training she became injured, and that was the end of that part of her life. Or was it? On to new adventures. After some hip surgery, off she went to travel the world. I'm proud of both my kids that they took the opportunity to see parts of the world that I can only dream of. Beth, as I said before, went to New Zealand backpacking. Well said, she got caught in the epicentre of a major earthquake and helped by providing humanitarian support to the local community until she was evacuated on a warship back to general populace. After a while longer, she then went on to Hawaii, and well said, Beth had a wisdom tooth removed under general anaesthetic. She was discharged and wandered down to the beach, having passed out for a few hours. She was watched over by a local. Could have gone horribly wrong, but she was okay and got to surf, where again, only I can dream of. From there, she went to Canada, and that's where we thought she would end up living. tad bit inconvenient, but it did give us a new holiday destination. But this was not the place for her, so she returned to the UK, and thanks to George, she now lives locally. As she's blossomed into this incredible woman she is today, finding her love in George, my heart swells with pride. To witness the, excuse me. To witness the love that has grown between them is truly magical. So here's to the little girl who changed my life for the better.
Never mind.
I'm doing it.
Come on, Jay. Come
Oh
on.
boy.
Here we go. To the remarkable woman she has become today. Cheers to love, laughter, and a lifetime of happiness for Beth and George. George, you've not only won my daughter's heart, but the hearts of our entire family. Your presence has brought an added layer of joy and completeness to our lives. I still remember the first time I saw you two together, and I knew then that you were truly someone special. George, you introduced me to your football team, and we watched the game in surround sound, beer in hand. I'm not a football fan, so this truly was a new experience, watching these men falling over and struggling to get up to their feet. I just didn't get it. It's not getting to your feet, is that part of the game? It was my turn to introduce George to a few new activities. Rollering paint, camping and surfing. Oh, and how to use a corkscrew to open a bottle of wine. Over the years I've taught a lot of people to surf, so George, having little fear of water, it was great to see him embrace this new culture. In fact, I think he's now been several times, and we've taken the boards into some of the well-known local beaches, Bourne, Newquay, etc. The boards I use are large and very stable, and often after a couple of hours, most people stand up. However, I think George's love of Aston Villa has rubbed off on him too much. His like players and also struggles to get. But give him a due, he does try hard, and he can now open a bottle of wine with a cork in it. Like me, George likes to sing. We have been known to sing into the early hours of the morning, whilst our partners have long retired to bed. We enjoy singing those manly songs like the theme from The Little Mermaid. Now, a burnt favourite of mine, as it reminds me of Beth in that starring role as a jellyfish. So with a heart full of gratitude, I want to officially welcome you to our family. May your journey with Bethany be filled with love and abundance of cherished moments. Here's to the wonderful man who has enriched our lives. Cheers. Brian and Helen, I know you're humble enough that you don't need to be thanked. However, thank you for supporting Bethany, and it's reassuring that you are close enough to offer the support that we have struggled to do so, being a bit further away. Knowing that not only do we have George and Bethany to bond our families together, we also have the absolutely charming, gorgeous, beautiful, charismatic, playful, intelligent, energetic, enchanting, curious, delightful Madison, our first grandchild. Can you tell I'm smitten with her?
Hello.
Thank you, Helen and Brian, showing in the big day and becoming part of our family. Well done and doing a good job raising George, and we are so happy to welcome you to our family. Today marks the beginning of a shared journey, not just for Bethany and George, but for our families joining together. To Helen and Brian, thank you for your kindness, love, and for the integral role you played in creating the wonderful person who now stands by my daughter's side. I look forward to the shared celebrations and many beautiful moments that our families will celebrate together. Here's to the start of a new chapter for all of us. My wife Deborah and I got married over 34 years ago. I know what you're thinking, you must have got married when I was 6. It's the same. I want to say a big thank you to my wife and the part you played in raising our daughter to be the beautiful woman she is. Our children growing up were everything to you.
Knock off.
And although at times we didn't have much, she always found the times that the kids didn't miss out. like collecting tokens in the newspaper, which enabled us to have the first family holiday, staying up the road in Cornwall. Well, we have that first gorgeous video of Beth as a baby laughing in the caravan. I can see that motherhood trait also in Bethany, and you should be really proud that you gave Bethany up that brilliant to make her the woman she is today. Whilst writing this speech, I reflected how has our marriage lasted. What words of marriage wisdom could I find? And I came across this quote. A great marriage is not when the perfect couple comes together, it is when an imperfect couple learns to enjoy their differences. Ladies and gentlemen, amidst the celebration of Beth and George, I want to share a glimpse of the enduring love that anchors our family. A heartfelt thank you to my wonderful wife Deborah, who has been my companion in this remarkable journey. From I do to the shared joys, she remains my constant. Deborah, your grace and strength have shaped her. It's a remarkable woman. And as we witness this next chapter, unfold with Beth and George, I'm reminded of the beautiful love story that started with us. Cheers to enduring love. Okay, those of you that can stand, please stand with me. Raise your glass to toast a happy couple. Beth has been the light of my life for the past 28 years, and today I hand her over to George. I know he will also love and cherish her every bit as much as I do. A toast to a happy and a healthy life full of endless love and laughter. George and Beth.
George and Beth.
Cheers.
Cheers, Jay. Go on, boy. Yeah, go on.
Hello, on behalf of me and my wife, I'd like to extend my warmest Firstly, thank you to Julian for his kind words. I'd like to thank Julian and Deb and all the Beth's family for making me feel so welcome and part of their family. Julian does come out with quite a few dad jokes, which may be rubbing off on me. I never know if he's been serious or not. Me and Beth were struggling for girls' names when we were having Maddie, so I asked Julian for some advice. I asked, what's Beth short for? He replied, because she's got little legs. Deb did ask me once, quite early into the relationship, one day when I was planning to leave Plymouth early to get home and watch a Villa match. Does football come before everything? What would you do if you were getting married and Villa were playing at the same time?
2-0.
I replied, I wouldn't arrange a wedding when Villa were playing. However, here we are. So I'll see you all at 7:30. At that point, I was going to ask what the score was. I've never seen Julian look so excited when he heard the news we were engaged. I'd asked him for Beth's hand 6 months previously, and he managed to keep it secret for that long. He even pretended in our group chat to guess where I'd taken Beth as a surprise for her birthday, even though I told him all the detail. I definitely feel this grew our bond. Right, thank yous. Firstly, thank you to Paul and Chloe. Thank you so much for all the wonderful hair on all the ladies. You've done a fantastic job and we're so grateful for both of you. Maxine. Thank you so much for doing Beth's gorgeous nails and also the lovely well-read poem earlier on today. We really are grateful. And also thank you to Max and Gary for looking after Aston over the last few days and bringing him down. I'm sure you've had a great time with him. To the bridesmaids, Kirsty and Laura, thank you so much for supporting Beth. I know she really appreciates you both and you have helped make today perfect for her. She really does love you both so much. But now, apart from being best friends, you actually have a bit more in common than you think. You both share the same interest in giving us very loud, squeaky, annoying dog and baby toys which haunt me every morning and evening. So thank you very much. thank you to our junior bridesmaids, Natalie. Your bond with Maddie is wonderful to see developing. It's lovely to finally meet someone who knows almost as much as Harry Potter as I do. So our flower girls, Maddie and Sappy, and our page boy Jackson, thank you for walking so elegantly down the aisle. You all look very cute and did a great job. Mum and Dad, thank you so much for raising such a wonderful son. I'll let everyone say that today. I don't show you affection often, but I really do appreciate what you have done and continue to do for me and Beth. I promise you a dance later. Well, no, not Dad. Dad, I'll let you know about it. To everyone here, thank you for travelling down to Carbis Bay. We know we're miles away from where any of us live. I'm sure you can all see why we chose this venue. We are so thankful to you all for making the effort for us. A special thanks to Josh, Captain and Helga, who travelled over from Germany and Spain to be with us today. And also from who travelled back from Texas to be here. At this point, I'd like to raise the first toast. A toast to those that can't be with us today. We're always thinking of you all, and you'll always be with us. So to those that can't be here. Cheers. Last and least, thank you to the best men for being such great friends to me over the years and for being really nice to me in their speeches. Please bear with the best men. They're not normally used to performing longer than 10 seconds. I'm sure they'll have a joke about there being two best men and the best speech gets to do the next wedding. The reason I chose him is Richard couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery and Matt can't string 2 words together past 3 p.m. In fact, on that subject, Matt, the last best man's speech he did for our friend Tom, he cried and sat back down without being able to speak. In fact, I'm surprised he's still here today. He's lasted longer than he did on the stag do. I was expecting him to be on the 2 p.m. Saturday train back to Didcot again.
Don't like it.
I'm sure they'll smash their speech shortly, but just remember lads, Matt, you might get married one day. Richard, you never know, you might get married again. So now, I couldn't go through the whole day without mentioning this. Gary, please stand up. No, stand up now. Quickly. For those of you who don't know, it's Gary's birthday, so it'll be cool. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to you. Birthday is in the car park at 11 o'clock. I'm saving the best till last. Thank you to my wonderful wife, Beth. You look really amazing today. When I turned around to you walking down the aisle, my breath was taken away.
That's right.
You put so much hard work into making today so special, and I think you've achieved that. Our relationship has had so many challenges from the start. From living 178 miles away, to having months apart due to COVID and my dodgy knee, to then living together for a month. But we took it all in our stride. I never once wavered in my feelings that this could go the distance, and here we are. Although I don't say much, I appreciate so much you moving up to Chippy. It really means the world to me. I appreciate the support you've given me in the last year of all the exams and having Maddie. It's certainly not been easy, but together we got through it, just like we'll get through everything else of life's process. I'm so glad glad you didn't get cold feet today, just like you do every bloody night. Spicing up our relationship, I decided to buy Beth some underwear. We were slightly wrong size, so she returned it. But she suggested we use the money to get Chinese. I knew she was wrong for me. Beth being a pescatarian does confirm that I'm not just a piece of meat. Hopefully, now we're married, she'll change me from the name George K in her fame to just George, be nice. I truly love you, babe. I love you so much, and I enjoyed every moment and experience we've shared together. You and Maddie are my world, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. So if you please know I've done now. Before I'm finished, can everyone please raise their glasses to the bride?
To the bride!
Wow.
Well done, George. That was quite impressive, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well done, yeah. Well, hello, everyone. Children, block your ears. I'll tell you what a venue, by the way. Guys, quite incredible. What a choice. Waking up to a sea view this morning was not like I can see it. It was out of this world. I've been finding it quite hard to do this. Normally I'm quite good at talking shy. But I think listening to George talk out of his arse for the last 15 years has taken out. We've done so much over the years and got so many quality memories, but unfortunately, I'm not sure enough of it is PG enough for this room. So I'm going to keep it quite short. I've been very good at this sort of stuff. I've never been very good at sort of this stuff. I always remember last time I did this, I was too drunk to even talk. It does help having Richard here next to me, even if he doesn't have any hair. All jokes aside, the majority of us in this room can all agree that we used to think George was gay. So I'm glad he came. So I'm glad Beth came around when he did. Otherwise, I reckon if he hadn't stood up here. Talking of Helen, I reckon it was only a few years back that Helen was still feeding and dressing George. I can't say the same for you, Brian, though. What are you wearing? Socks. I remember going into the house one of the first times. I think it was one in your old house. It might have been the Ryder Cup. I think it was Glen Eagles, potentially. It must have started around 8, possibly finished around 6. But I don't know, I was at 10, 11 hours. I don't think George or Brian even moved from the couch that day. Breakfast, lunch and dinner, not a single movement. I was fascinated. I didn't realise this happened every weekend. To be fair, I'll always remember the first time I met George. I was worried he would eat me. He used to be a right tubby bastard. That wouldn't speak. Sorry. No, he was skinny, no hair, and talked too much. I am very proud of the man George has become. He's running, which has been very impressive. Learned to use the oven, and even the microwave. Learned to use the oven, and even the microwave. He definitely still can't cook, hence the gusto meals every week. I could go on forever about the pastimes. I could go on forever about the pastimes, but I think it's now time to look to the next stage of your life. I think you found an amazing lady in Beth, not just a friend, a best friend. I mean, you got to be an absolute saint to put with George. George is bullshit. I do love you both, and I think Maddie is very lucky to have such great parents. I'm going to pass you on to Richard now, so we can do all the lovey-dovey show. That was really fucking bollocks.
I'm Rich. I'm fortunate enough to obviously have been asked to be George's co-best man this weekend. I was actually a best man at my wedding a little under 2 years ago, so it's been a long time coming. Before I go any further, I just want to take a moment to give a little shout out to the star of the show today, George's beautiful bride, Beth. Beth, you look absolutely stunning today. I'm sure many in the room have probably told you at some point. Thank you for obviously allowing both of us to be part of this special day today. It means the world to both of us. So I hope today's been everything that you wish for and more. And even George hasn't scrubbed it too bad, so who'd have thought?
Watch the next few years.
I'll be honest, I thought moving to a different country would have probably got me out of this, but here we are, we'll make of it what we can. I'll start with a little bit of context. I've been good friends with George now since secondary school. My family moved to Oxfordshire almost 20 years ago. Not really knowing anyone at that point, and all the popular kids already buddied up. I saw this pasty goofball in the corner with a massive
Tubby one.
I thought, Jesus Christ, if anyone is in need of a mate, it's this. Little did I know that after all these years, I still couldn't bloody shake it. Now, I apologise for having my notes here. I know it's a little bit formal, and I'd love to be one of those people that just read it off ad-lib, but the truth is, I've had a few nightmares leading up to this. Nightmares that no matter how many times I rehearse this speech or read it over, I forget my words. Just like our groom did when he went to audition for the X Factor. Hours of queuing, sitting around waiting for his opportunity, only to forget the words. Not one bloody syllable. Not only that, he was asked if he had another song prepared, and he'd forgotten that as well. Scanning the room, it doesn't look like too many people are actually aware of that, so good luck answering the questions on that later part. To this day, he insists he was giving all the others a chance. Nevertheless, whilst those others were off to judges' houses, George was heading back to Mum and Dad's with his tail between his legs. As I mentioned a little bit earlier on, I've known George for the best part of 20 years now. My hairline shows it. During that time, you'd think you know pretty much everything about someone that you'd consider to be your best mate. That said, in preparation for today, I thought I'd do a little digging. Boy, did I come up with some gold. From a source that shall remain anonymous, George had a nickname within the K ranks. For a little while, it stemmed from a family trip to Ireland.
Is that you? So you.
Somehow, I never knew about this until recently, but as best man, it's my duty to share how that came about with you all. When the family were on holiday, they went fishing with Brian in the lake. George, being the athlete that he is, didn't quite grasp the concept of staying upright. Slipped and landed in a whopping great cowpat. His clothes smelled so bad that Uncle Tony had to fumigate them by hosing them off on the washing line before they could even go in the house, let alone the washing machine. Ever since then, he's been the cowpat kid. It's hard to believe the little cowpat kid is all grown up now and married.
Absolutely.
He's still full of shit. Like I'm not sure that'll ever change. Those of you who know George know that he's extremely competitive in everything that he does. I imagine that's largely due to being the youngest of the K contingent. Definitely goes a long way to explain this scrappy-doo persona. Whether it's a university challenge with Helen, a round of golf with Brian, or a game of pool with the boys, he'll do absolutely anything to win. And as you can imagine, he's not a great loser. Over the years, I've seen countless broken golf clubs, wash rackets and pool cues. I remember one weekend we were playing golf at Chippy as it was back then. I was paired with George, who was actually having a decent front line for a change. Around the turns, generally a series of scoring holes at Chippy, so clearly felt there were some birdies to be had. That didn't quite go to plan, with a bogey and a 3-putt par to start back 9. He's simmering by this point. We get to the drivable 12 with a chance to make amends, and he hits the worst tee shot you can imagine. I'm talking off the planet right, straight into the Bundy. No chance of getting the green in 2.
Standard.
He eventually makes another bogey out and a short putt, turning around to take a raging swipe at his golf bag. The stand buckles and falls down the bank, which winds him up even more, and he turns away in a sulk, muttering to himself. Eventually, he looks up and goes, and those of you who played golf with George will know this, "What? Bloody shit, isn't it?" Resisting the urge to laugh in his face, I replied, "I get it, mate. I get that it's shit, not the best couple of holes. That was my bag." To this day, the stand is still paid, and the scholar has so much to apologise. I remember when George told me he was going on the first date with a lovely young lady sat beside him today. To say he was excited is a complete understatement. He couldn't stop smiling. At the time, I thought his lucky boxers were too tight, or it was day 3 and they were rubbing. But I think looking back, it must have just been pure excitement and joy. Not that he probably cared to admit it at the time. We could tell just how much he wanted things to work out. Now knowing Beth as I do, you can absolutely see why. He is punching. In all seriousness, anyone that knows Beth will also know that she's just a wonderfully kind soul. And you can see from the outside looking in just how happy the pair of them are, and that happiness has only grown since the arrival of their beautiful daughter Maddie, just under a year ago. Now this incredible couple have added being wonderful parent to the list of superlatives that can be used to describe them both. Nearly there, guys. I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear that we're on the home straight now, folks. And just to round off, I'd like to close with one final memory. One I'm not actually sure George is even aware of. It's probably going back around 10 years now. We sat in the lounge at Helen Bryan's in Dunstew. Helen slaving away in the kitchen whilst watching Soccer Saturday. George in a foul mood, no doubt linked to Villa underperforming or being robbed by just another shipwreck. Helen popped her head round the door and asked George to lend a hand and lay the table. As you can probably imagine, in true George fashion, he then provided a response that can only be matched by Harry Enfield's Kevin. So he trudges off to the kitchen with his chin on the floor, muttering and groaning as he does. At the time, I was sitting next to Mary, George's nan, Helen's mum, who I know he looks extremely fond of and close to. I made a flippant remark, something along the lines of, "What's he like, eh? Who on earth would put up with him?" And her response I'll never forget to this day. She turned to me and she said, "He gives it a whack, he pretends he doesn't care, but one day he'll meet someone and that'll change everything. He'll meet someone, she'll sweep him off his feet, and that'll be it." And here we are today. Well, mate, she was right. And along with the rest of us today, I'm sure she would wish you both a lifetime of happiness. So, ladies and gents, one last time, if I could ask you all to stand Yes.